J Dilla is overrated. This isn't a critique of his music or him as a musician. I'm a fan, that have been for the last 20 years. And for years, Dilla was one of the music industry's best kept secrets. However, in the time following his unfortunate demise, analyzing, critiquing, deconstructing, and waxing philosophical about his music has become an industry in and of itself. Everyone wants a piece of Dilla's genius, the secret formula that made him such an exceptional producer, that X factor which set him apart from hundreds of other hip-hop producers, especially those who achieved far greater mainstream success. Because the road to today wasn't paved in gold. Remember, when Q-Tip inducted Jay as an indie house producer for A Tribe Called Quest, making him an integral part of their fourth studio album, Beats, Rhymes, and Life, his production wasn't met with the best reception. Both fans and critics alike split on Tribe's departure from their previous sound in exchange for JD's more off-kilter production. Likewise, Donuts, his final effort before his 2006 passing, was initially met with a rather lukewarm reception. Leading up to its release, Peanut Butter Wolf, the founder of Stone Store Records, recalls reaching out to various publications in hopes of giving Dilla a platform to promote what would be his farewell project. Wolf and company got very little cooperation. That is, of course, until the man passed. Suddenly, there was an overwhelming wave of praise for Donuts, as well as a need to analyze Dilla's musical talent in a manner tantamount to a college course curriculum, and in some cases, Dilla's praised as a god amongst men. Death has a funny way of increasing your stock like that. A similar thing can be said for an artist that Dilla has been compared to in terms of musical dexterity, that being the late great John Coltrane. While Coltrane saw a great deal of commercial success during his lifetime, the praise he's garnered in the years after his death eclipses anything he saw while living. Again, I'm a fan of both these gentlemen's music. However, I stand 10 toes down when I say they are both overrated, but not of any fault of their own, and certainly not because their music doesn't hold up. Their art holds up very well. However, the people who praise their music are only looking at it at face value, or at least in my opinion they are. When it comes to highly gifted artists, regardless of what their respective craft may be, as people, we tend to look at the end results and exalt them for that. However, what we should applaud them for is everything that goes into that. Neither Coltrane nor Dilla simply fell from the heavens, already skilled in the art of their instrument of choice. Be it a saxophone or MPC, it took years of persistent practice to achieve the level of expertise these men did. One of the key motivators being their inspirational figures. For Coltrane, it was Charlie Parker. For Dilla, Pete Rock. Once they found the artist they would mold their own sound after, it was just a matter of practicing, listening to music of various genres from all over the world, studying what drew them to a particular sound, and slowly but surely developing their own style along the way. Dilla is heralded for his unorthodox ear, an ear that gave him an altered perception of time, space, and rhythm, giving his beats a slightly off-time and live feel. Dilla's production, even the earlier work he did under the guidance of Detroit-based soul musician Amp Fiddler, embraced imperfection, but without getting lost in it. Even if a kick fell out of place or a hi-hat sounded kind of sloppy, it had its place. Dilla may have been known for using the drum machine, but the feeling you get from his music is that of a live band. Likewise, Coltrane's affinity for Charlie Parker's style of bebop jazz inspired him not to play his saxophone perfectly, but rather play it with feeling. It's not so much about playing the right note, but rather playing the needed note. And Coltrane didn't simply play, he bellowed, he shrieked, he shouted, he praised God, and in some cases he damn near cried. His instrument was truly an extension of his being, of his spirit. For Coltrane, the ultimate goal wasn't simply to play well. Anybody can play well. What Coltrane wanted was to play Coltrane. Similarly, while Dilla pulled inspiration from various other artists, be they contemporaries or forefathers, obviously he didn't want to play like them. He wanted to play John Doe, JD, J Dilla, James Dewitt Yancey. What Dilla and Coltrane shared in common most was their desire to get more out of their instruments. And as a result, they were able to learn to play their instruments in ways that still, to this very day, leave beatmakers and jazz musicians alike scratching their heads asking, how'd they do that? It's easy and reasonable to exalt artists such as Dilla and Coltrane for how gifted they are. However, when doing this, it's also easy to overlook the human aspect of what made them so special. Learning the fundamentals in order to become well-rounded artists, then taking those fundamentals and building upon them, going off the beaten path, trying new experimental ideas that may not be appreciated in the moment, but over time will inspire the next generation of artists who will use their music as a guiding light to develop their own creativity. So, when you listen to an artist like J Dilla, be it in the month of February or any other time of the year, appreciate him for the genius we know today, but also be sure to go back and listen to some of his earlier works before the fame, because the only thing greater than experiencing genius in real time is witnessing the birth of it.